This is a standard double rig to an electric reel, 9/0 electric reel, sardine, circle hook, 6/0 circle hooks. Leaders are about 18 to 20 inches long for each bait, 16 ounces of lead. The sardines are hooked on the circle hooks through the through the mouth, out the gill, strung through 2 times to ensure that they do not come off the hook. And the lead, 16-ounce lead. Need to put a little more lead on next trip, just because for the camera, need more lead below the camera. Okay, the rig is lowered just as any normal rig would. The camera does make it a bit awkward, but below the camera, it is just like any normal rig. Takes a little longer for the bait to get to the bottom. Fast forward through this part if you want. Not much to see on the way down this first drop. Water's obviously getting murkier as we get closer to the bottom here. The wind blew pretty hard 3 days prior to this trip, and that's why the bottom is stirred up so much. Extremely poor visibility on the bottom once the rig does reach the bottom. Okay, almost ready to hit the bottom here. Okay, line goes slack. Rig is on the bottom. Very difficult to see though. Immediately the bait is surrounded by a large number of small fish. I can't really tell what they are. Look like mostly grunts and some small red snapper. Bait was on the bottom no more than 5 seconds. And that poor visibility normally take fish a little bit longer to hit normally when the visibility is so poor, just because I'm not sure exactly why that is. I assume it's because fish can't see as well, and they don't feed as quickly as they do when you have good visibility. You can fast forward from here. Bait's coming up, fish is coming up. Got a small snapper. You can fast forward to the surface shot if you want. Okay, red snapper, 11 inches long approximately. Circle hook in the side of the mouth. Excuse me. 11 inches. maybe a little more. Fish is released, swims down quickly. Okay, rig is rebaited, dropped again. You can fast forward if you want until rig reaches the bottom. Take a few seconds here. Okay, rig hits the bottom, goes slack. It's immediately surrounded by a multitude of small fish. Camera's on the bottom. All right, grunts. You see grunts. You see small red snapper, yellowtail snapper mixed in there. Vermilion snappers, red snapper. Lots of small sea bass. Okay, immediately on that baited rig. Immediately, extremely aggressive. These smaller fish. Few seconds, fish on, back towards the surface. Black sea bass. Black sea bass coming towards the surface. Camera's going to get tangled up with another line on the boat. I'm going to have to cut this. Puppy shark gets wrapped in it. So, okay, I can see on my fish finder that the fish are marking up a little higher. There's more fish marking up higher in the water column. So this time the rig will not be dropped all the way to the bottom, be dropped about halfway down, approximately 40 feet, 30 to 50 feet, just to be in the right. Once the rig is stopping this depth, it's obvious that red snapper begin to surround it. Again, this is extremely poor visibility, but it is easy to see red snapper, larger than the ones that we saw on the very bottom. Our smaller red snapper tend to, as the sign shows, tend to be extremely more structure oriented. But a Z snapper, look at this baited rig. They're very cautious. They're swimming up to it, they're looking at it, but they are being extremely cautious. These snapper aren't that big, probably in the 20 to 30 inch range, anywhere from 20 to 30 inches long on these snapper here. That's an estimate. Got to get one to bite first. Still in there investigating. Mostly all red snapper there. Saw a mangrove snapper, I think. Not 100% sure though. Mostly red snapper surrounding the rig there. Okay, the large school, tightly packed school coming into the picture here up top is spade fish right there. Those are spade fish, I believe. Still have a lot of red snapper around the rig though. Red snapper coming in looking but not biting. 100-pound test leader is probably the reason. Go lighter than this and they will be more aggressive, as we'll show later on a different trip. Still looking. All red snapper right there, you can see, even with the poor visibility, quite a few red snapper around the rig. One moving in extremely close. They're looking, but they're not taking. As it seems like as these fish get older, they get even more and more cautious in their feeding. These fish aren't that big, so I think it's the 100-pound test preventing them from feeding on this. Next trip, we will try a variety of pound test rigs and see what kind of difference that makes. What you're seeing here also does not do justice to the school of fish that I'm showing on the fish finder this time. A couple of nice ones there, pretty decent. The school that I'm showing on my fish finder is massive, just beyond massive. If we had a decent visibility, might be able to get that, and we will here eventually have some good visibility. Okay, here comes a triggerfish. A couple of triggerfish. Now this is going to cause the red snapper to become more aggressive. You'll see here in just a second, I believe. This is the right clip. Might have misspoke there. Red snapper. Thought I saw a triggerfish there before. Going a little deeper here, I believe. Yeah, just a little bit. Water's getting a little dirtier. Spadefish moving through. School of spadefish, they won't feed on sardines. They generally they eat jellyfish, and that we know of, and I believe they do. They eat shrimp, obviously, and squid. But okay, triggerfish moved in, starts pecking. As soon as he starts pecking, red snapper become more aggressive.